Today on Nostalgia Hit, we travel back to the 1970s, where disco ruled the dance floor and bell-bottoms were all the rage. We'll dive into the colorful world of popular games and toys that defined a generation. Join us as we rediscover the timeless favorites that captured the hearts and imaginations of children and adults alike. In 1969, Parker Brothers burst onto the scene with a game-changer, the Nerf ball, a 4-inch foam sphere that didn't break lamps or bruise toes. They called it the world's premier indoor ball, and boy, did it take off like a rocket. Soon, every kid on the block was nerfing it up. But Parker Brothers didn't stop there. They went full tilt and dropped the Nerf football and basketball in '72. Soft, squishy, and practically damage-proof, these bad boys became the holy grail of indoor fun. So, while parents cheered for fewer broken ornaments, kids cheered for more Nerf battles. Introduced by Ideal Toy Company in 1973, the Evel Knievel stunt cycle quickly filled the shelves of toy stores and just as quickly became an iconic toy of its time. Inspired by the daredevil motorcyclist extraordinaire, the toy allowed children to replicate his death-defying stunts in their own homes. The stunt cycle featured a wind-up motorcycle and a launching ramp, enabling kids to send their mini daredevil soaring through the air, performing flips and jumps. Its popularity soared due to Knievel's real-life stunts, and so did the range of toys and revenue, with Ideal introducing items like the Evel Knievel stunt car, scramble van, dragster, funny car, the stunt stadium, and much more, which helped amass over $125 million in sales by 1977. Bursting onto the scene was one of the most beloved plastic toys of the 1970s, Weebles, strutting their stuff like tiny champions of balance. With their catchy tagline, Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down, they became the rock stars of the toy world. Romper Room launched these egg-shaped wonders in '69, and let me tell you, they were the envy of every other toy on the block. You had the whole Weeble family, Dad Weeble, Mom Weeble, the kids, even a furry little pooch Weeble. And they didn't stop at the family portrait. They built entire Weeble worlds, which further solidified Weeble's status as a cultural phenomenon, establishing it as an empire by the decade's end. The origins of skateboarding date back to the 1950s, but its true rise began with Frank Nasworthy's invention of urethane wheels in 1972, made out of the same stuff as fancy car tires. Nasworthy's brainchild, cooked up under his company Cadillac Wheels, turned skateboarding from a bumpy ride to a smooth cruise. Suddenly, skaters everywhere were zipping around like they were on a magic carpet ride. And guess what? With smoother rides came bigger dreams. And before you knew it, skate parks were popping up quicker than you could say Tony Hawk. Skateboarding went from being that thing the neighborhood kids did to a legit sport, complete with its own culture, heroes, and maybe a few scraped knees along the way. In 1960, the Ohio Art Company acquired the rights to French electrician André Cassagna's innovative creation, the Etch-a-Sketch, for $25,000. Just before Christmas of that year, the aluminum powder drawing toy made its debut in U.S. markets and quickly captivated audiences. However, it wasn't until commercials started airing in the late 1960s and early 1970s that the Etch-a-Sketch soared to unprecedented levels of popularity. And get this, the version you'll find in toy stores today. It's practically a time-traveling doodle, unchanged from its 70s glory days. Now for a toy that rocks. Literally, the pet rock was a craze that started in San Francisco in 1975, when Gary Dahl presented his idea of a rock as a pet. Over the subsequent months, millions of individuals embraced the craze, investing $3.95 in a simple stone along with its ingenious packaging, a snazzy box complete with air holes, and a manual on rock care. Talk about luxury. It was like the rock was attending its own VIP party every time it got sold. There were songs written about it, TV appearances, and movie references, you name it, the pet rock was there, stealing the show. But alas, fame is fleeting. By '76, the pet rock's 15 minutes of fame were up, and just like that, it rolled back into obscurity. In 1976, the Kenner Co. introduced an $11 toy that would ultimately generate over $50 million in sales. Named Stretch Armstrong, this blonde beefcake, filled with a substance similar to corn syrup, could stretch up to 5 feet, making Mr. Fantastic look like a regular Joe. No matter how much kids pulled at Stretch, he always bounced back like a resilient rubber band. Stretch wasn't just a one-hit wonder either. He spawned spin-offs like Stretch Octopus, X-Ray, Hulk, and Monster, to name a few, proving that stretching was the name of the game in the '70s. But, alas, like all good things, Stretch's time in the limelight had to come to an end. By 79, he was stretching out of the public eye. But don't shed a tear just yet, because in the world of collectors, Stretch Armstrong is pure gold. People are shelling out over $1,000 for a pristine Stretch these days. Who knew that a toy filled with syrup could be worth its weight in gold? Released in the summer of 1972, Atari Pong marked the advent of commercially successful video games. Pong introduced the world to an unprecedented medium that inspired generations. Deriving the game from table tennis, the concept was incredibly basic, but added enough nuance so the game was easy to learn, but difficult to master. Atari couldn't churn out these bad boys fast enough, selling over 8,000 units by 74. Who knew that a simple game of bouncing a pixelated ball would kickstart the entire video game revolution? Talk about serving up an ace. Let's saddle up and take a ride back to 1970, when Ideal dropped a bombshell on the tabletop gaming world with Buckaroo. The mule figurine, just itching to unleash its inner rodeo star, was slowly loaded with all sorts of random junk, while players tiptoed around, trying not to be the one who would set off the mule's kick, sending the loaded objects flying like confetti. Buckaroo combined skill and luck, while providing endless entertainment and laughter for players of all ages. Its simple, yet thrilling mechanics made it a much-loved classic of the decade and beyond. Thanks for watching part 1 of popular games and toys from the 1970s. We'll have a lot more in future videos, so please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss them. Also, what were some of your favorite toys or games growing up? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching Nostalgia Hit. Please remember to subscribe and hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, as it really helps the channel. Why not watch another video listed on the screen now? Until next time.